On June 9th, 2026, Anthropic released Claude Fable 5, the first Mythos-class model available to everyone on Amazon Bedrock. Previously, Mythos capabilities were restricted to cyber defenders through Project Glasswing. Today, I'm going to show you how to invoke it on Bedrock with real code examples, plus the undocumented prerequisite that blocked me for 30 minutes. Full blog post with all the code is linked in the description below. Claude now has 4 model tiers: Haiku for fast and cheap tasks, Sonnet for balanced workloads, Opus for deep reasoning, and now Fable, which is the Mythos class. Fable is not a replacement for Opus. They serve different purposes. Opus is synchronous and interactive for back-and-forth complex work. Fable is asynchronous and autonomous, built for long-running tasks that can take days, not minutes. Key facts: $10 per million input tokens, $50 per million output tokens, 1 million token context window, and 128K output tokens. That's less than half the price of Claude Mythos Preview. Let me walk you through what makes Fable 5 special. In software engineering, Stripe compressed months of work into days. They migrated a 50 million line Ruby codebase in just one day. It's #1 on both Frontier Code and Cursor Bench. For vision, it beat Pokémon Fire Red using only raw screenshots, no maps, no navigation aids. In knowledge work, it's the first model to break 90% on Hex's analytics benchmark, a 10-point jump over Opus. For memory, it stays focused across millions of tokens, getting 3x more benefit from persistent notes compared to Opus 4.8. And in safety, 0 universal jailbreaks were found in over 1,000 hours of external testing. Fable 5 has separate AI classifier systems that run before the main model responds. If your query relates to cybersecurity exploits, biology, chemistry, or model distillation, it falls back to Opus 4.8. This is not a refusal. You still get a highly capable response from Opus. This triggers in less than 5% of sessions, so 95% or more get the full Fable capability. The name origin is interesting. Fable comes from the Latin fabula, meaning that which is told, the same root as the Greek word mythos. The safeguards are essentially what distinguishes Fable from the unrestricted Mythos 5, which is only available to Project Glasswing partners. Here's what tripped me up. You cannot invoke Fable 5 without first opting into 30-day data retention. This is an account-level setting, not a per-request parameter. If you try without it, you'll get a validation exception saying data retention mode default is not available for this model. The fix is one API call: bedrock.put_action_data_retention with mode set to provider_data share. Anthropic retains prompts and outputs for 30 days for safety monitoring. This is not used for training. Also important, use inference profile IDs like us.anthropic.claude-fable-5, not the bare model ID. The data is auto-deleted after 30 days. This is required for all Mythos-class models. For the first example, I asked Fable 5 to design a fraud detection system handling 10,000 transactions per second using CDK. The result blew me away. In 116 seconds, it produced a complete ASCII architecture diagram, a capacity math table showing you need 16 shards for 10K TPS, a full CDK stack with design decision comments, and a detailed trade-off analysis comparing provisioned versus on-demand and API gateway direct integration versus Lambda proxy. One single prompt produced senior architect level output. It uses extended thinking, reasoning tokens before responding, and those thinking tokens are not billed. 116 seconds is long, but look at what you got: complete production-ready infrastructure. For the second example, I gave it a seemingly simple rate limiter with subtle bugs baked in. In 56 seconds, it found 7 bugs. The severe ones, dot seconds versus dot total seconds. A negative tutorial returns 86,399 instead of the expected value. Entrista on an empty list after pruning. No async IO lock causing a latent race condition. And using datetime.now instead of a monotonic clock, meaning NTP time jumps break your rate limits. Most linting tools catch bugs 1 through 3. Finding bugs 5 and 6 requires genuine systems thinking. It also produced a corrected implementation plus a full PyTest test suite. The third example demonstrates agentic tool use. I gave Fable 5 3 tools and asked it to plan a trip from San Francisco to Seattle. Without being told, it recognized that checking the weather, searching flights, and finding a hotel are all independent tasks. It issued all 3 tool calls in parallel, not sequentially. This took just 13.7 seconds. This parallel planning ability is exactly what enables days-long autonomous work. It explained its reasoning before acting and respected all budget constraints. This is the kind of agentic behavior that makes Fable genuinely different from previous models. Looking at the performance summary, architected design took 116 seconds with deep reasoning and code generation. Bug detection took 56 seconds with self-verification. Agentic tool use took just 13 seconds with parallel planning. The key insight is that extended thinking enables quality. Longer response time means deeper reasoning. And remember, thinking tokens are free. The model is built for quality, not speed. Use Opus for quick interactive work and Fable for complex autonomous tasks. Let me wrap up with the key takeaways. First, data retention is mandatory. Call put account data retention before your first invocation. Second, use inference profiles. The model ID is us.anthropic.claude-fable-5. Third, extended thinking is free and improves quality significantly. Fourth, it's built for autonomy. It shines on complex async tasks, not quick chat. Fifth, safeguards are real but rare. 95% of sessions are unaffected. And sixth, pricing is $10 input, $50 output per million tokens. Less than half of Mythos preview. Check out my blog post linked in the description for all the code examples you can copy and run yourself. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. And drop a comment if you've tried Fable 5. What's been your experience?